Welcome to the True Born Sons of Liberty radio broadcast. I'm your host, Stephen L. Anderson, pastor of Faithful Word Baptist Church in Tempe, Arizona. Are we headed for a one-world government? Well, the Bible prophesies in the book of Revelation and elsewhere that one day there will be a one-world government, and that the Antichrist will be at the head of that government. For example, in Revelation 13:7, the Bible reads, "And it was given unto him," speaking of the Antichrist, "to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him," and on and on. Listen to this from Revelation chapter 17. Another similar verse, it says in verse 12, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb." So basically we're talking about in Revelation 17, 10 kings of this world relinquishing their authority, giving up their power, and placing the Antichrist in power. He is going to be ruling over all nations, all kindreds, all peoples one day when this happens. And of course it's going to be an evil regime where Christians will be persecuted and killed and beheaded. Now you say, what's wrong with a one world government? Well, let me give you several reasons why a one world government is not what God wants. And you say, why are you talking about this? Well, we have basically the framework for a one world government sitting right in the United States of America. It's called the United Nations, a world government organization based in New York City. And so this is a reality that we're dealing with, and increasingly our country is not making its own decisions, but rather we're going to war with Iraq, we're going to war with Afghanistan, not because the Congress of the United States declared war, not because the people of the United States want to go to war, but because the United Nations has made resolutions, and we're over there in Iraq and Afghanistan fighting beside British troops and Australian troops and all these troops from all around the world, Canadian troops, because we're not acting as our own country anymore. And this isn't just a few allies. These are United Nations resolutions that we're enforcing over there. Listen to this from Genesis chapter 10. I want you to understand that God is the one who ordained nations. It says in verse number 32, "These are the families of the sons of Noah after their generations in their nations. And by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood." You see, after the flood, God did not want them all to join together into one society, which is what they did with the Tower of Babel. No, he wanted them to separate into nations. Now notice, we're not talking about race here. This has nothing to do with race. God has made all nations of the earth of one blood. Okay? God never even uses the word race in the entire Bible unless he's talking about running a race. Okay? So this has nothing to do with the color of people's skin. There could be black people or Hispanics or Asians or white people who are all part of our nation, the United States, and they are just as much a part of this nation as anyone else. So this has nothing to do with color. We as Americans are Americans because we're part of the United States of America, which is a country, which is a nation that we belong to. It has nothing to do with our ethnicity. God does not want a one world government. They did it in Genesis 11. He rebuked it and separated them. In Revelation, we see an evil one world government prophesied. That's where we're headed with this. But you say, what else is wrong with a one world government? Well, think about this. In the past, there have been abusive dictatorships and evil governments, and they exist right now in this world, of course. But stop and think about it. At least if you can get out, you could go somewhere to get away from this evil government. But the problem is, we're going toward a totalitarian one world government where there will be nowhere to go, because it'll be the whole world. Thank you for listening to the True Born Sons of Liberty radio broadcast. If you'd like to keep this show on the air, please send your donations to True Born Sons, care of KXXT Radio, 2800 North 44th Street, Suite 100, Phoenix, Arizona 85008, or visit us on the web at truebornsons.com.